What kind of search volume are you looking for on Jungle Scout for good product ideas? This is something that I've covered time to time over the past couple of years, but I think it's something that's always good to cover and review. I don't feel like these types of things you can cover once and be done because it's always changing, right? This month's different than last month, and 6 months from now, it's going to be different than today. So, as far as what type of search volume we're kind of looking for to figure out, is this a good product idea or not? Now, I will say this, having been in the Amazon world now for, gosh, I mean, if I talk about my first Amazon attempt back in 2015, we're talking like 7 years, but like actively really day to day in it 4 years, and then coaching people now for 2 years, almost 2 years. Seen a lot of people, a lot of products, a lot of numbers and data and things happening. And what I will point out before we like kind of maybe jump into some numbers and things, success on Amazon is becoming more about product development than it is about product opportunity. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. And what I mean by that is Amazon, just even like 3 or 4 years ago, the rage with Amazon was, what's the next hot product opportunity? And it wasn't so much about developing a great product. It was more about exploiting a great opportunity. So a market emerged, like a product that wasn't being sold on Amazon all of a sudden came to Amazon, like fidget spinner type of thing, right? Where it's a craze. It's almost like a fad, but not all of them are fads. Some of them come and then stay. But it's like the pop it things, right? Like you guys have seen those little, like it's shaped like a T-Rex or whatever, and it has a little like rubber, and you like pop, 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 and you pop them, and it's like a fidget thing. Like those. Like they were like nowhere a year ago, and now they're everywhere on Amazon, and every kid has one. It's like that type of thing where 2, 3 years ago on Amazon, it was all about that opportunity. So people were diving into Jungle Scout, and heck, I even talked about this too, honestly, because that's how it was back then. You look for the opportunity, you look for like the opportunity scores and what has the best opportunity score and what has the low reviews from the competition, and you're like, oh, that's the hot product, that's the product that's going to be the good product to sell. I'm seeing a big shift from that, from so much like the opportunity and more towards the product development. And what I mean by that is, and I actually, this has been on my mind a lot lately. I feel like I've recorded podcasts about this and I've tweeted about it, but most of the best product ideas are just right in front of your face. But what makes it a great product idea is how you develop that product and develop that brand. I have students in my program right now who have been selling on Amazon, who have come from other programs where they kind of are teaching 2015 Amazon strategy, where it's like, oh, go find this hot product opportunity, go find it on Alibaba, buy 1,000 of them and sell them on Amazon. No customization, no real like super strong branding, no strategy there. It's just like reselling. Buy it on Alibaba, sell it on Amazon. Buy it on Alibaba, sell it on Amazon. Put your brand name, stamp it on it, sell it on Amazon. There's no product development. There's no differentiation. There's no innovation. And then they're like, crap, this is super hard. My advertising fees are super through the roof. I'm not getting good conversions. Like, because you're not different. You're no better than the other person selling right next to you. Like, what value did you add to the market? You're just trying to exploit an opportunity. You're not necessarily adding value to the market by differentiating a product. So, as we jump back into this now, like I want you to keep that in mind, is try not to hunt too much for like a certain number or a certain score, like, oh, I'm looking for an opportunity score of 8, or like this certain like review metric benchmark or this search term benchmark. Now we will go over some that I think it's important, but I don't think that should be like the number one driving all in factor. Again, like think about it this way. You are probably going to make more money going into a super competitive market with like a ton of search demand, a lot of keyword searches, a ton of competition, really high reviews of all the competition. Probably going to make more money going into a market like that, but having a superior product because you developed a better product. Like if it's different, like I differentiated, I had a new feature, it's better in some way, you did something to make it customized, unique. That's adding value to what's currently out there. That's making it better, a better product than what's out there. You're going to make more money doing that than you are like just copy and pasting from Alibaba into like a low competition, low demand market. So just keep that in mind. I think you're better off focusing on product development and brand development than just trying to find like the next like sneaky opportunity, because people can find those easy. Man, everyone has this software. Like it's not that hard to put in criteria and like maybe find an opportunity. but that's what everyone else is doing. And then when you launch your product out there, you're just like everyone else. How you really be different than what everyone else is doing is you actually like think about the product idea and think about how to make it different and better and then execute. That's not something that Jungle Scout will tell you how to do. That's what you got to do and you got to come up with. Okay, enough of my rant. Back to Jungle Scout here. So let's pretend we are, though, looking at some search term data, because this is important. Like, just because you're like, well, Andy, I have a really cool product idea and I'm differentiating, it's better, we want to make sure people actually are searching for it, because if they're not searching for it, no one's going to buy it, even if it is a great product and it's adding value to the market or whatever. So what I would kind of say, just as like a pretty like rough benchmark, is I like to see around 30,000 30-day searches for like the market. And I'm going to say the market because I think there's multiple keyword searches that could add up to around that total right there. Because if you were to just search like mouse pad, so mouse pads, apparently people don't search at all, but mouse pad with a space, people search like hotcakes. So let me go back and let's just do mouse pad here. So if you're going to sell a mouse pad, that's a huge market, right? So we'd probably want to niche down. So now we're niching down here, like gaming mouse pad. There's niching down. Mouse pad with wrist support, niche down a little bit. Artisan mouse pad, there's niche down. So let's use gaming mousepad as an example. Now, I know that this might seem like an easy win because it just says 65,000. You're like, well, great, checks the box, 30,000. But the way that I would kind of go about it is let's just pretend let's pretend that was 5,000. So then when I say 30,000, it would be like the adding up the keywords for that. So like down here is gaming mousepad, where it's one word mousepad that gets 9,000 searches. So we can say, okay, 5,000 plus 9,000. And then I could keep scrolling. Mousepad gaming, another 9,000. So now we're at 27,000. That's pretty much there. Like we're there. So that kind of like shows me, okay, that's good enough demand. That's good enough demand where like I'd feel good about that. And what I think what you're kind of looking for here with like search demand is you're kind of looking for the competition relative to the demand, right? That's what it's all about. Because if something gets like, let's say competition is like super high, like we'll put like high comp, 30,000 searches, super high competition, then you're like, well, is it worth it? Like to try to go into that. But if it was 3 million searches and super high competition, then I'd be more willing to go into it. Does that make sense? So I think that's what we're kind of trying to look at here is we're trying to see what's the search volume. First of all, we want to see if there's enough volume to like justify even selling the product. But then we want to see what's the competition like relative to the search volume to see it's like, is it worth it to me to go up against that competition? Because if there's not that much demand, I'm not going to like, why spend your time, right? But if there's a ton of demand, even if there is high competition, like what I said, I think you'll make more money going into this market with high competition than you would going into this market with like crazy low competition, right? There's just more mouths, there's more people eating, right? So let's keep that in mind as we're looking at some stuff here. So how do you decide if it is high search volume and really high demand? There's a couple like metrics we can look at just right here, but we can also utilize some of the other tools as well. Like we could click right here and search out on Amazon, pull up the Chrome extension, analyze the sellers and get a feel for how many reviews do they have, how many daily sales are they getting, and kind of combine that with the search volume to kind of get a vibe for search volume demand, right? So you can use that. And that's just simply clicking on this button, opening the Jungle Scout Chrome extension and checking those metrics. The other thing you can do right here is you could look at the just bid amount. Now, I would not take these as like super gospel as like, oh, that is the bid that it's going to take. It could be higher or lower than that. It's a pretty decent benchmark from what I've seen. From what I've seen from other sellers and other students I've worked with, it's a decent benchmark in some cases, but not like super duper, completely. But what we mean on how do we use this is we could say, okay, how many searches does it get? What is the pay per click bid for that keyword? Because this is what this number tells us. Like if we're looking at these two columns, if this number is high, it means that there's a lot of people potentially advertising for that keyword, which means either one, it's a really valuable keyword, which means people click and buy when they, advertise for that keyword, or it could mean that it's an expensive product, or it could mean that there's a lot of competition on that keyword. So it can tell us like a little bit more about the market. So we're going to have to kind of, again, we have to kind of utilize all of the tools at our disposal to kind of get a good bird's eye view of the market and kind of what's happening. Because again, this could also reflect the price of the product. So what we'd want to do here, if I was looking at mouse pads, is I'd probably open up Amazon and say, okay, what is like the average cost of a mouse pad, right? Just right here on page one for gaming mouse pad. Okay, so we can find that really quickly by pulling up our Chrome extension, and the average price is just going to sit right there for you. So once these load, and you can load more results if you want, but we can kind of get a vibe for the average price of a mouse pad for a gaming mouse pad. So let's just go with this. Average mouse pad price, $18. So now we know, okay, we can kind of look at all these numbers, right? Average searches 65K. Average price $18 product. Bids 74 cents and 80 cents. I also want to go look at reviews really quickly and see what those were looking like. Average rating number 5,000. So that's a lot of reviews. I mean, you want to look at everything because we can have some, outliers here that are affecting our average quite a bit. But let's just pretend it is 5,000. Let's just roll with 5,000. So going back here, 60,000, $18 product, average 5,000 reviews, 74 cents and 80 cents. So now we got search, we got price, we got star reviews, and we got PPC. Now looking at all these metrics kind of together, we can really kind of get a feel for what are we up against? Do we feel in our hearts that there's enough search to justify that many reviews? Do we feel like there's enough search volume to justify this price? Is that price too low? Is it too high? Do we feel like we're getting enough searches to justify those pay-per-click costs? Do these pay-per-click costs justify this price? Here's another thing. And I can't pull up this product because it's a student in my program. It's their product. And this is a product that they were selling before they even came into my program. We're trying to save it pretty much. We're trying to salvage it. But as an example, where they're at with their metrics right here is theirs looks like this. It looks like, search volumes around 50K. Reviews are maybe not quite that high. Reviews are maybe more like, let's call it 1,000. But pay-per-click is like $3. So you're like, okay, reviews are lower, so that's nice. The average price of their product, I think, is around $20. So when you look at theirs, they're like, okay, search volume is great. Great product opportunity. Price, that's right. That's okay. Like we charge 25, $30. We're a little bit more expensive. Cool. We're in a good spot. Reviews, that's not too crazy. It's high, but it's not too crazy. But this is where you see the issues. You're like, holy shnikes, it's $3 for that keyword. Like pretend mouse pads was $3 per click. This is really expensive for a click for a $20 product. Like if you're selling a $20 product, you want this to be lower. Like you want this to be in the 74 cent to 80 cent range. So that's, for me, that would be a big red flag. I'd be like, holy crap. What that tells me is if I were looking at that product idea and I say, should I sell this on Amazon? What it tells me is I'm going to need a lot of reviews. I'm going to need, get up there to 1,000 reviews someday. You're not going to happen overnight, but I'm going to need to get up there more reviews. But what it's going to tell me is I am not going to make money with advertising. Like if I come here to Jungle Scout and I see a big fat $3 sign, that's giving me a pretty good idea. That's like, it's going to be extremely difficult to be profitable with my advertising. You just know that, like, it's just math. $3 for a click. And you just do the reverse math of like how many clicks it takes to get a conversion. What's your conversion rate? Let's just do it. Like, let's reverse math right here. A good conversion rate on Amazon is 10%. That means 10% of the people who click on your listing end up buying. So let's pretend you're getting cost per clicks at $3. Okay. So if you get 10 clicks, you spent $30 on ads, right? 10 clicks times $3 is $30. If you have a conversion rate of 10%, every time you get 10 clicks, you get one sale. Well, if you're selling a product for what? Let's call it $25. You're selling a product for $25. You've already lost $5, not to mention the cost of the product. So that's why I'm saying, like, it's really easy to just do the reverse math and know that's going to be really tough to be profitable. So what does that tell me? I either got to be really good at promoting my product off of Amazon. I got to bank on getting a really good organic ranking, but to think about that, you got to think, okay, how many reviews do I need? So basically, what I'm seeing from this in a nutshell is I'm going to have to lose a lot of money on ads for the next year and a half to build up enough reviews, to get enough sales, to build up enough reviews to rank organically to eventually, make my money. So it's like, could you be successful with it? Yeah, just plan on spending $30,000 on ads before you ever see a dollar back, because that's what the numbers are telling you. So that's kind of like a whole bird's eye view of how I would use this, is looking at the bids, looking at the search volume, looking at the price of the product, looking at competitor reviews, and getting kind of a good vibe from all that, and knowing what is it going to take to be successful with this product. Because like I tell people this all the time, guys, you can be successful with literally almost any product on Amazon. Like, you can. It's just a matter of time and money. Like, are you willing to spend $50,000 in ads for the next 2 years to get enough sales, to get enough reviews, to get enough organic ranking to eventually make a profit? Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to lose 50 grand for 2 years to make money? No? Then don't sell that product. But you could. It'll just take you 2 years. And every product is different, right? Every product, every category is different. That's why I say you can be successful in any product. With a good product, if you make a great product, it will sell. People buy great products. Make a great product, it will sell. You just might not make money immediately. It might take you a little while. So keep that in mind.